Hello, everyone, and welcome to another amazing episode of She Rises live speaker series. I'm Kelly Boyer. I'm the founder of She Rises. I'm also the founder of She Rises Foundation and a mentor for women through my Clarity Method. I am so excited to have all of you here. As you know, the heart of She Rises is just very simple. It's all about helping women rise into their feminine leadership, trust their intuition, and create meaningful change in not only their lives, but in the communities that they serve. And these conversations here on She Rises are a space for awakening where we bring in voices that remind us what's possible when we lead from truth and we support one another. And today's guest, Jennifer Ashira RA, does just that. She activates light codes for over 7,000 worldwide. She is here guiding women leaders to rise, embody purpose, and co create the new golden age. And our topic today is thrive in the new feminine solar era, which could not be more aligned with what we are collectively moving through. It is a call to step forward, be fully expressed, and do all of it without fear. So settle in, open up your heart, and let's dive right in. Jennifer, I'm so excited to have you here and what we're going to be talking about. I was checking out your topic today and I thought, oh, this is going to be a fun conversation.
Hmm. So,
So, are you good with us just diving in, talking?
yeah, let's just dive in. Hello, everyone, live and in replay. Hello, Melissa, Amanda, Rochelle. So excited.
So cool. Okay. So what does it actually mean to thrive in the new feminine solar era? Sorry. And I'm curious, how is that different from the old paradigm of women, of how women have been taught to succeed and live and thrive?
Great question. Hello, everyone. I just invite us to just put our hand on our heart and one on our womb as we just dive into this incredible, just container frequency paradigm that is opening and just centering and just allowing. And what a great question. Where should I start? I want to start with 999 portal last month. We're in a nine numerology year, which is endings and beginnings. And I had a group and a retreat I was shown a year ago to bring the women to Bali. I lived in Bali for 2 years, so I know all the secret waterfalls, all the temples. I lived there and we activated on 11/11 in 2021, the New Earth template. And it was a crystal template held above Bali, which was held by the Lemurians. Bali is the mountaintops of Lemuria. And they put me on a 1 year treasure hunt initiation. The medicine women of Mu are like these Maori kind of women. They're in the higher realms and they are the guardians of this crystal. This crystal is why the last war with Atlantis wanted this crystal. They had been already blocked and they didn't have access to any of the ways to build a golden planet. This is what this crystal is. So we activated it on 11/11, and then 5 years later, this year, we were told to grid it. And we gridded it and we went to different water temples, and there was 15 of us, and we would be in our sarongs and we went to waterfalls and water temples and oceans, mermaid thrones, and we were gridding different codes. And when the first temple we went to, which is one that I love to go to personally, I would go to, you scooter in Bali, so I'd scooter up and go to my temples. Like you go to the park, go to water temples in Bali. It's like, it's
Oh, I
really,
love it.
it's so magical. So we have a bus and we go in our bus and the women, and we go to this temple called Puramanganaing, and it's in Tempak Sering in Bali. And as we started to circle and started to activate, I saw like we co-collaborated. We didn't just, it wasn't like me activating. We all, each woman were like, I see this, and oh, I see this. And it was like so exciting. And and I was gathering all the information, then we activated. And what I saw was 100,000 years ago, we chose as humanity separation. We're like, it's so great. Let's just choose another way and see what happens. So that was the ending where Lemuria then went into more density, that birthed Atlantis. and then the fall. And that is the era of separation where we used to always stand in the sunlight in 12 noon, which is the solstice of every day, in the sunlight, in the community, like the priestesses and the wise women. And we would be there in ceremony, and then we would grid into the earth. And we were not hidden. We were the royal lineage. The spiritual lineage was the royal lineage, not kings and queens. And then consciousness fell. Priestesses turned on each other, humanity turned on each other. And as it fell, the consciousness fell, and the women were suppressed, oppressed. You're a witch. You're what? How do you know this healing? How do you know how to do that? You're too much. Why are you saying that? Your family's going to be ostracized. You're going to be in prison. Like, so we disconnected. And then we went into the forest, and we went into the night, and we watched the moon. And then we thought it was the moon. And then it became moon circles. And this was the lunar separation. The moon there used to be two suns in our sky in the fourth human incarnation. We're in the fifth. And now the moon, which was further back, has moved forward, and it controls the waters in a deep way. We had one cycle a year as a human woman. Now we have 12. And then people are praying to the moon. Women do moon circles, don't they? I did them too when I started. And this is the separation. The moon gives nothing, it reflects. It reflects. The only way you see it is because the sun's shining on it. And so the 9-9 portal, what I saw was we activated and restored, we removed this false crystal core of this grid of human sacred union. We did 5 different high codes at different places. And what I saw was when we put in the original crystal of union, all these minions just dissolve light workers. It's really tough right now. There's attacks, there's all these things happening. Well, they have grids to walk on, and these grids just dissolved. And what I saw is when this new crystal went in, everything dissolved. They don't have a freeway to walk on. They don't have there's a capacity that isn't there anymore. And I saw as we restored this original crystals, this grid, the new grid, the real grid started activating. And that is a frequency that they can't touch. They can't. And so this is the core of what I saw. And then it rained, 999 portal. That day, it was 36 plus hours of rains in Bali. I've lived in Bali. It rains and then it stops. It rained. It started flooding Bali. Like the purification, like the heavens just opened, and this purification. So and I thought, wow, how great. We're just, 15 women we're powerful. But when I got back to America and I kept hearing the new era and the old era, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what happened. We literally ended 100,000 years. I saw it, but it's almost like, really? Like it really happened? And it truly, literally, a 9-9 portal this year ended that 100,000 year, and we began the new solar era, and it just landed. And that's all I've been talking about. That's my last name is Ra, which means sun. That's my family. This is not like something I just stepped on, but I really like, oh my gosh, like that's why I'm here. It's like, yay, the earth is like literally moving to like what I know to be true. And and when I saw this and I felt this and I saw the shift and the change, this is inspired something I'm going to be sharing with you guys later that Kelly said was that we can share, and there's a way you can step into this. But what I saw was that the women, we have been talking moon, we've been talking chasing, we've been talking hustle. Yes, we're talking that's not the way, but what's the framework then? Yes, I can magnetize, I can radiate, I can dance and be in my body and self-pleasure. And when you're in pleasure, you activate your manifestation and your field of resonance by double. Yes. But there's a grid, light code activation, which is the future of everything. It's the most permanent, fastest, most direct way to quantum leap. And it's going to be the energy healing. It's not Reiki anymore. It's not anything through symbols. It's through direct connection with source, because this is who you are. So the solar feminine, she radiates. She doesn't chase, she transmits. But then it's like, yeah, but I have all this light. Have you been feeling like I have all this light? I'm so excited. I'm so lit up. I have all these new ideas. But I don't have the container for that. I still worry. I still, I have my coach over here. I have my one-on-one sessions. It's like it's not fitting anymore. Like what used to, yeah, I've made great money. Yes, I'm successful. I lead and I help women and I transform. but it's not enough. I have this movement inside of me. I have an empire that wants to be built. I have this revolution. It's like doesn't fit in my one-on-one sessions or my containers or my website anymore. And it's like, what is that framework? And it's a new framework that's coming in. It's a new, and it's like it comes from within you. It's not like you go get it. It's not a medicine ceremony or a new essential oil or a new breath practice. Those are all modalities, but the one true framework is that ignition with who you truly are, that magnetic, lit up, turned on, radiant source energy. That is the new era. And it starts within you. And it's like, but I have trauma and I have wounds and I'm not worthy enough and I'm not good. And all that is that old separation. And we all have it, don't we? I mean, how many here today, we're not posting in the chat, yeah, there's something holding you back. I know this weekend I just got in front of this incredible leader, and for 4 days, and we released our three biggest limiting beliefs. And I was with 14,000 people in one arena. And wow, because you know, when two or more gather, it's a mastermind to the 10th power. So we were times 14,000. And I let go of, I knew I needed to go. You know, when you go to an event, you're like, I just know I need it. And I booked this in May. And so my May me knew that my October me was going to be needing this. And it literally, like what I did in Bali last month, and then this, like broke me through because I have so much that's been flooding in. How many like downloading or channeling? Like it's just like getting you up at 3 in the morning. It's like, and your journals, you don't have enough journals. Like that framework isn't working anymore. You know, my journals is like my pen. I went through 7 pens at this like 4 days I was just at. Like literally the pens have this much ink in them now. So I'm like, my pens, I don't have enough. I'm like writing so fast. And so what the framework is this new frequency. And how do I tap into that? Am I doing it in the old frequency? It's not your devotion. It's not your mission. It's not your vision. It's your frequency.
Mhm.
Because your frequency is aligned to an old paradigm where you need to be safe, you need to be predictable, you need to fit in, you need to have your containers, you need to have this foundation, this what you know to be true, but what you know to be true has kept you capped. Because
Mhm.
if you're in sessions, you're trading your time for money. And
Mhm.
so when I started my path, I came from running a clothing business. I built a seven-figure brand from $100 in Los Angeles. There's no coaching back then. So it was like I just did everything wrong for many years. I made money every year. I grew 15 to 20% every single year because I kept telling everyone I was, and I did. But I had three catalogs I put out, and I literally used all my money to promote until I figured out a new system. I did one huge catalog per year, like some other people were doing. And I freed up all this time, and my business became a literal money machine. Like, yes, I built it, and there's talent, but I had a better framework. And so that became a seven-figure business where I shipped all over the world from $100, totally in debt, no business experience, no background. I designed for other people. I worked at Ralph Lauren in New York, and I worked at places, but I didn't know how to run a business. But I got in front of people and I collapsed timelines and I got mentorship. I got in high activated containers of light. This is what we talk about in Light Priestess Temple is the four pathways is you first get in high activated containers of light. If you want to activate your highest light, the system to do that is get in like we're today. This is a high activated container of light. And where you're not a lifestyle, like, yeah, I'm going to go to that circle once. That'll be great. No, it's like not once, not twice. It's a lifestyle. Who you are around, you love your family, but you choose your peers. You choose your sisters. You choose your network. You want to be in a circle where women are even maybe doing a little more than you, they're showing up a little, have a little more of experience, more radiance, more down the path than you. So you can stretch. And emotion is emotion. It's like moving. You move and you move up into a new level. That's high activated containers of light where you turn on your light codes because light codes aren't your DNA. How many of you like light codes are DNA? It's so not true. Like your DNA is your ancestral line and it can be your cell lineage as well, but it's your light codes are every single initiation or wisdom you have ever learned, ever activated on all your lifetimes. And I believe many of us have lived millions of lifetimes. So you have each lifetime, you were initiated, you're activated. And so those are held within your light codes. And they're high frequency, kind of like time release capsules. So when you go into a high activated container of light, a circle, a workshop, a container of some spiritual, sound healing, something where it's high energy, they meet and they activate. They're like, oh, I know this energy, and they turn on. And then as this becomes your lifestyle, they turn on all the time. Like all of a sudden, have you ever felt like, oh my gosh, I can sing now. Like you open your mouth and it's like melodic. Like where did that come from? Or a new idea drops in, or something becomes a knowing. Has
Mhm.
anyone, have you had like, all of a sudden you just know it, like something you didn't know yesterday, and now it's like a truth. Those are your light codes activating and something you initiated. And the second is on the pathway is one-on-one mentorship coaching. Like get in front of someone that's a little further down the path so you can collapse timelines and move into that. Like my clothing business took me 15 years. Do we have 15 years? Like a new era just started 30 days ago. Like, do we have 15 years to like figure it out and make some mistakes and hire all the wrong people and listen to the wrong podcasts? It's like leading us in astray and like get aligned and then, oh no, that's not right. I want to come back here. And so I've really found I didn't have any coaching before in my life. I just did everything wrong. And now I've found the value of the empath for giving out, we're giving out. Guess what? We get just as burned out. I was so burned out running my clothing business. I was empty inside. I was like not even nice to my staff because I had nothing to give. And in my spiritual path, I started to kind of do the same thing because I was just giving, giving, giving. And I was just like, oh, I mean, like feel that way. Like I'm just burnt out. And yet I'm a sound healer and I'm burned out because there's nothing coming in. It's not a full circle. Your chalice is one-sided. So to have that full circle is, are you getting massages? Are you in self-pleasure? Are you having coaching? Do you have your cup coming in? Because if you're not going to anyone, how can you just keep giving? It has to be a full circle. And so that is the step two is mentorship and coaching. And three is sacred sites. You want to
Mhm.
activate your light codes and that power within you. Is anyone here like, oh, India just calls me, Egypt,
Mhm.
different places, like I just have to go, and you don't know why, or this one temple, or Sacre-Cœur in Paris, or something, and just Uluru in Australia, just something's calling me. And this is your soul codes, your soul calling because you've left codes for yourself in different timelines and different dimensions. Time is circular, it's not linear. And so we're called. I know when I went to Egypt for the very first time, I was running my clothing business and I went as a tourist. I was on a spiritual tour, but I didn't know anybody. And I remember the last day, I we did like give something to the group. And so we all kind of stood up and I stood up and I was literally had gold light in my hands and I was literally kind of giving it, but almost like pushing it into each person, like divine golden light. And at the end, they're like, Jennifer, we didn't see this in you. Where'd this come from? Because I was just a girl on a tour. And it was like, I don't know. I just gone through all the pyramids and all the temples, and I started to activate. And then I remember going to the Museum of Met in New York, where part of the Isis temple is. And I remember turning the corner, and it was like, oh, hello. Like, hi, friends. It was so different. My relationship with them was like, hello, everybody. Like, good to see you again. And that was not, and it started to grow. And this is my soul family. This is who my family's Isis, Sekhmet, Ra. And this is who my family is. And this is why I'm here. And this is that golden solar frequency. So the thriving in the solar feminine energy is we talked about get in high activated containers of light,
Mhm.
get coaching or mentorship, get your cup filled, however that feels for you. Third, go to sacred site so you activate your true original soul codes. And fourth is community. Inspired, like-minded community, but where they push you a little more. I'm in a mastermind where it's in the coaching field, where I just kind of entered the coaching field this year and it's new for me. I started just holding priestess circles in Bali, where I started. I was there during COVID. And I activated light codes, and that's where I kind of started and got my feet under me. And it was very priestess, divine feminine. I did not know anything about coaching. I really had never been coached by anyone. And so I go into this mastermind of a woman who is, could be my daughter. And and the lot of abundance, physical, financial abundance that she creates. I mean, I've made $250,000 in a month, but I have never seen that in like a day. Like, I'm like, okay, so what is this girl doing? And she's like, excited and wearing, like tutus one day. And I'm like, okay, like what's going on? And I want to know more. And I'm in a community where women are just literally stepping into their power, and they're creating such radiance and personal power. And it's pushing me to step into who I am in this space and step into my confidence. I had so much confidence running my clothing business. And in what I'm doing now, I could hide in that business. I had my models in the catalog. This is about me stepping up. And I have really had those wounds and some scars of remembering when it wasn't safe to stand in my power. And so I have seen how different I am, and how I didn't have the confidence, and how I did before, and how what happened to me. And so this is when I stood in that energy, and I'm in this mastermind, I'm in a community that's kind of stretching me in a good way, and I'm pushing, and I'm like seeing new horizons. Like, I'm not capping myself in an old paradigm of like, do one-on-one sessions, do a retreat once a year, you make 100,000 a year. Like, no, like women are making 100,000 in a minute. I'm like, okay, so like something I never knew how to do that. I never even heard anyone in my family doing that. So I'm in a mastermind where I'm being stretched. So I'm in the 4 pathways, and I'm walking it myself, of activating my light in the solar era to thrive in it. This pathway will serve you. Like today, you're in a podcast that is going to show you something that you maybe didn't know before. You might not have known there's a new era that started. And what if that could be a foundation that activates a new offering you have, or activates you, or it's showing that you don't chase, you transmit. But you need a framework, and that is the light code framework. This is a new frequency, a new lit up, ecstatic, turned on energy. It's not like motivate yourself and then you're really uptight over here. It's like it's when you step into this frequency and you create rituals for your somatic neural pathways to conform and train to this, it becomes your new normal. And it's not like we don't have life and there's challenges, but it's not this like roller coaster of like, that sucked. Oh my gosh. What you focus on, you get. I'm going to focus on what I want to have happen. And I noticed how I love talking about my problems. I like, oh yeah, that happened to me, the psychic attacks, and oh my gosh. And I just, because you get attention, it feeds you, right? And I noticed like, why don't I do that? When something over here, like the same event had great, and then one thing, and that's what I'm talking about to my friend. Oh my gosh, this thing came at me, and then all this, and then what do I get in my life? Well, I'm telling my life I want more of that. So what I really have been learning, and it's like turning the train, because I didn't learn this at home, is what I focus on, I get. And I started just in priestess circles doing light code activation, which is so sacred and great. But what I was shown is that the priestesses need to step out of the temple to lead humanity. It's not just inclusive, little circles, and we activate each other, and we go to, the Sphinx, and we go to Isis temple. It's wonderful. And you're activating these codes. But what about humanity who is lost, who is believing the news, who is drinking wine as their therapist? Like that's like my family when we go to holidays, like who's got the alcohol? Oh, you brought 3 bottles of wine. Great. I didn't have to bring it then. And I'm just sitting there watching them as they're literally numbing out at noon. And then the football comes on, and then they're done. Football and wine. And, it's like, and like and the level of unconsciousness. So you are affected, cause and effect. You're affected by others because you're like this pinball walking around, and that's most of humanity. But the priestesses have the codes. Every woman is a priestess, just most have not activated their codes. And everything, the new solar feminine is the light, the radiant. She's the woman that your next level has been waiting for. And this is the woman that is is like if you just stay in the temples, humanity's just going to be wandering around, like going to football games and drinking wine, and they don't know what's going on until you are that conduit and you show up to lead humanity, because that's who always led civilizations, was the priestess. The king would only be anointed when the priestess would have the marriage night, and the night, the sacred ceremony of marriage, where she would literally consummate with him and anoint him. And then everyone know, he's the king. He laid with the high priestess. And then she would anoint him. The woman always anoints the man. So in your perfect personal relationship, the woman has 16 times more abilities to be intuitive than the masculine. We are the leaders, and we were suppressed because we were too powerful. You were too much. You had too much skill. You had too much intuition. You could see around the corner. You could see the future. And the masculine wanted to suppress you, and he suppressed it in himself as well.
Mhm.
And so for the solar feminine to rise is for you to just come to that place within yourself of like, I know, I've always known that. How many of you are feeling that? Like, I've always known this. You're not, you're speaking to the choir. Amanda's smiling and raising her hand. And so, beloveds, like, what do you feel like in the sisters that are here today? And I wonder if Elizabeth Gilbert, are you the Elizabeth Gilbert of the books? That would be really great because I think she's really wonderful, but maybe it's just a similar name. I will just imagine. And so, beloveds, I just invite you, like, what is that one thing I feel today is what is that one thing? Like, you're here today, A, and you have a B vision,
Mhm.
somewhere where you want to be, something, your relationship, you want to call them the beloved, you have a vision, you have a book, you have you have a, a vision, you want to build a movement, you want to build a revolution, you have an idea, a business, a strategy, a sacred work, something that is B, and then there's a gap in between. And so, what is going to condense that gap? Like, what gap are you working on right now? I invite you if you wanted to pop in the chat, because whatever that place is, that solar feminine energy is the frequency that takes you from A to B. And that
Mhm.
is the solar mastery code activation framework. And that is the only framework on this planet for this solar era. And that is the framework that we carry in Light Priestess Temple, our community, and in our events and in our offerings, because that is why I'm here. I just can't even tell you how exciting, how it's so hard for me to sleep right now because then when the whole world is like moving towards who you've been all along, and we've been the outsider. We've been like my own family, like, they roll their eyes at me a little bit. I've been very successful financially, and so they can't roll their eyes too much, but they still do. But they don't roll their eyes and shake their finger at me. They just roll their eyes because they can't shake their finger at someone who has accomplished what I've accomplished. But the thing is, I came into another industry that I had to start all over. And I had to step in front of the camera and I had to speak on stages. Like zero interest in that, like terror running through my body. And so, with that energy, that of what I used to remember and what's in my body, I had to move through a lot of healing. And it didn't just happen in one day, 1 year, 1 month. It was a deep remembrance, and I had to face it. And when you face what has been holding you back, it has no control over you anymore. And I had to face it because if we're going to lead in the new solar feminine era and thrive with our radiance and our lit up and our turned on energy and doing what we love, not hiding, not playing safe, not being predictable, not doing what others tell us. Like a coach, I remember a coach telling me, like, my coach told me to do this and I did it. And I was so angry because I didn't want to do it. And I'm like, why are you doing things that you don't align with? That's just because someone else told you who's in a place of authority,
Mhm.
because you gave your power away. That's the old paradigm. You're not good enough, makeup ads, airbrushed, 14-year-olds. I'm from the fashion industry. I know how young the girls, I dressed the models, and I know how young a lot of the girls were. I dressed some of the supermodels too, who were in their 20s, but they were like the mature ones, like a 25-year-old Cindy Crawford and Naomi Campbell. And yeah, they were like the mature ones at 25, 26, and the new girls coming in were 16. And so, like, that's our essence of beauty.
Mhm.
So we're not good enough if we are over 16, like we're done. And I was just at our event this weekend, and Jamie Kern Lima of It Cosmetics, her story is so amazing. How she was told no, if you've ever bought her stuff at Sephora, she's now sold it. She had this idea, she was a waitress at Denny's, had a wait idea, and they just did it, worked and worked and got no from Sephora, from everyone known to man. No, years. 5, 6, 7 years. No, no. And it came to be no's at because she would get to finals of venture capitalists and she'd be in the room. Will we get it? And she's a finalist. Will we get the money to expand our? And that guy, one of the men, turned to her. Not just no's. She would get, we said no to you because who would buy makeup from you, a woman that looks like you with your weight? And told her to her face. So not only said no, shamed her. And she ended up selling her brand, became the #1 beauty brand on QVC, and sold her brand for $1.2 billion to L'Oreal. And I love her story. I've heard it so many times, but seeing it in person and her there on the stage of your dream, she never gave up. And she said, when he said that to me, I didn't get angry. It unlocked a knowing that he was so wrong and that he didn't know because he was in the old paradigm. He couldn't see her greatness. Your greatness is the new solar feminine era. That greatness that old paradigm squashed and told you weren't enough.
Yeah.
There is people in this planet praying for your medicine, your work, and what you do. And it's your job to give them access and to be visible and to shine your light
Mhm.
and step into who you are.
If I can, I love
Yes.
that. Yeah, I'm like this is so amazing, everything that you shared. But I have to tell, I mean, there was a lot of favorites that I have that you shared, but the one that I feel and I'm just and that I feel like resonant that really is resonant with me, and I want to connect it to this She Rises, because what you've been talking about is all about what She Rises is about. So I think it's
Oh,
magnificent.
I love that.
Yes. But I do love that you talked about that in between stage, or where there's the chaos and all of that is happening. And I agree. I mean, as women, we did so, we were the rulers. We were seen as like the go-to. And you're right, we got so suppressed. And do feel that in between stage within that suppression, this is my opinion, that's where the alchemy is really happening. Like, that's where the magic is happening. And it is hard, and it is uncomfortable, and it could be rough, but that is where the magic is happening. And you spoke of, like, this is where we're stepping into to who our way of being is, what I'm gonna say. We're coming home, because I feel like that's what us women are doing right now. We are coming back home to who we've always been, and we're coming back home even brighter and better than when we started, is how I feel, as we're moving into this new era. But I want to talk a little bit more about that in between, because I feel like it's really important, because I've worked with a lot of women where they are stuck. I don't want to say stuck. I'm sorry. I take that. I rescind that word. But where they are in that in between and they feel stuck, but they're not. And a lot of times that's when they want to give up. And it's in that space too where those fears do come up, because they struggle with confidence. They do have to start becoming more visible, and really stepping into what I think is just so beautiful, that beautiful transformation. So
Mm.
I would love for you to talk more, if you don't mind, about that in between. What what have you experienced? Like, what does it look like? And as you're moving through that alchemization process, what does it look like when you reach the other side?
Mm. The void.
Yes,
Void. So you're
there
in
it
one
is.
place, like the A to B transformation. I'm about to sneeze, so
I'm gonna let it fly.
there it
Bless
goes. I
you.
almost did it when you were talking, and I was like, okay, okay. So you're A to B, and you're here, and you want to be here on any part of your life, and there's that void. So you're wanting to jump into a new timeline. And you might have already jumped into a new timeline and you're like, I left the marriage, I activated something, I bought the new house, I moved to the new city, I did the action, and then it hasn't landed because it takes a little time for it to land. And you're like, but I want to know right now. I need that security. The number one human need is I need to know security. I need to have security. I need certainty. The void is not certain. The void is not comfortable. The void is not anywhere near that zip code. And that is why most people do not grow. Most people do not excel. Most 5% of this planet develops themselves and grows. The rest, they hit a little speed bump, done. They're off. They're back at the football game, drinking the wine,
Yep.
complaining, gossiping, whatever to rebalance them so they feel good. A little gossip. Oh, I feel good now because I've put someone else down. So you're in that void and you don't know the next step. How did Jamie Kern Lima, with no money, they're almost bankrupt like 5,000 times? How did she go from Denny's waitress to $1.2 billion CEO and knows until she got one yes? One yes. And that was all she needed. But she had no's for like 7, 8 years. That chills. How did she do it? You just keep going. Because if you don't stop, you haven't failed. If she had stopped, even on the millionth no, she'd never be on that stage talking to me. And when she talked to me, I had some shame about being a really motivated, focus driven woman. I'm Sag rising. I am like the girl that was so direct. Like I would already have the conversation, like in the playground. I'd come up at like the fifth sentence and then it'd come out of my mouth. Like I was already there, already had said it all. And they're just like, oh my God, you're weird. Like what? Like I'd already said it because I was always like already there. So awkward, so like fiery. And so I learned, oh, that didn't work. I'm going to suppress that. I'm going to get really pretty. I'm going to get really soft. I'm going to be acceptable, old paradigm. I'm not going to be myself. I'm not going to be fiery and like, I want to build empires and I want to like change the world, and I want to like do all of this and do 10,000 things. No, that's not appropriate. And so I learned how to fit in. And so when you're in that void, what are you saying to yourself? Oh, this will never work. What am I doing? Start my own business, sound healer. Just go back to my accounting business, like my accounting job. At least I made my, what am I doing? What I've always known is if you don't listen to your soul, it's going to come out in another way. You're going to be crying all the time. Like I had a session with a client and she was telling me one thing and then she was crying the whole time, telling me this, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. And I'm like, your soul is like not in alignment. You're speaking it, but how did I go from $100 to a seven-figure brand with no business experience, no support, no background? I didn't have a husband who's like, those couples that run businesses. How amazing is that? Like you got like a staff member. I had no children that I birthed to become employees. I was just me. And so how did I do it? I had my why. It's your why. Why are you getting up in the morning? Why are you want to be a sound healer? Why? Because I want to change the world. I can't do that in my accounting job. I want to share my gifts. When that woman lit up last night, when I did that sound healing, and she changed her whole state of being, and then she texted me that she never felt better. I changed someone's life. I can't do that in my accounting job. And this is why I'm going to go get that loan, or I'm going to go find another studio where I can do another event at. And this is why you keep going. Your why is your fire. It
Mhm.
lights a fire in you it does not go out, let me tell you. And to get a rocket off the ground to go into outer space, 80% of the energy is in takeoff. 20 is used to orbit. So to start a new venture, to start anything, a new business, and I know how it is, you are going to need a 80% fuel. And it takes a lot. It takes fire, it takes focus, it takes magnetic radiance, but it takes your why you get up in the morning and go to that meeting when you'd rather just go to Starbucks and just read the paper. And so what's your why?
I love that.
And then
Sorry.
and then even ask like, what's the deeper why? What's the deeper why?
Mm-hmm.
What's the deeper why? And do
Yeah.
7 levels. Go like get to like what's the like what is like the just go deep and sit with yourself and journal because this is what you're going to need in those void moments when you're told we can't invest in you because look what you look like and look how much you weigh because all I can see is the outside of you. I see nothing else but your skin and what you look like because I'm coming from the old paradigm. So we got to show our radiance and show our light and start to activate them into a new frequency. And only you can do that. I can do only what I can do. The medicine that you have is what is needed for the women that are praying for what you have to offer. There are people praying for your what you offer. There are people praying like, please, I need to heal this. I need help. I need to find that person and I don't know who they are. And it's exactly the medicine that you share and that you give and that you transform people with. And if you aren't visible and if they can't find you and if they can't see you and more importantly, if they can't feel you, they can't be transformed by you. And so for you to go through that void is your challenge. That's what every master's ever gone through. They go through the underworld, Anana's underworld. Yeshua went through it. Buddha's been through it. All the masters go through their underworld. I went through mine last year. I walked away from everything for 16 months. I had to face some past life stuff of temples being sacked in front of me, gruesome stuff that I just kind of pushed down. Not going to deal with that. I blew it off about 6 lifetimes. Too much, too intense. And it all hit me last year. And that was a void that I definitely thought I wasn't going to get through. I got my will in order. I made sure my storage unit, which had been I've been traveling for 9 years, grading sacred sites across the planet. I got my permanent address as my storage unit in Long Beach, California. And I made sure all my family had access to my storage unit because that's where everything is. And I wasn't going to make it out. 100%. My void was no way out. My void was, I saw no end in sight. And I was on the floor of my place and I was living in Hawaii, gorgeous, but lost on me. I couldn't, like gorgeous mornings, the sun rays, like, radiating through the clouds, hitting the water, like a postcard, just amazing. And it was lost on me. And I remember I was laying there and I'm like, how did it get here? How did I get here? Because I hadn't faced things about me. I hadn't been honest with myself. I hadn't been able to deal with challenges and really hard things and hadn't faced the hardest one of all, which was suppressing who I was. And so as I got some support, I thought isolation was the greatest thing ever. I learned that no, that's not how you heal. I thought isolation, I can hide, no one will know, and I'll come back great. Well, 16 months later, people started going like, where have you been? Like this is not a healing, like you've gone to a spa for a month. Like this is something's wrong. And as I got more healing and I got reached out for help and I had to heal and I learned frameworks that helped me with my emotions and helped me with karmic traumas that I'd gone through. And as I've come back, my why got stronger because I'm here to help change this planet. My mission is to activate humanity's light codes and activate 1,000 new divine feminine leaders
Love it.
because the new age and the new earth is not going to open with the leadership that's in power right now, is it?
I agree with that. 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're showing us what the old era looks like,
Mm.
and
And,
we can choose something different.
and it's really loud the way that.
Ah, yeah, of course they're loud. Who's loud?
Yeah.
The really confident, aligned, truly knowledgeable person in the corner of the room, or the one that is usually first time they're a leader. I'm not sure this applies to everyone, but usually a first time teacher is all about them. If you've
Mhm.
had any teachers who are like, my thing, my book, first time teacher. And note to self was Yeshua, like, look at me, I'm Yeshua. I am the son of God. I'm just awesome. Like, I am so radiant. No, he was a humble, wore like one piece of clothing and healed and gave for free because he had the power. And so you hold the power. You are the feminine rising. You are the solar feminine in a new solar era of union. This is not of separation, the lunar matrix, the separation, the not good enough. Hide in the forest, pray to the moon. This is about you standing in the center of the square, radiating your light, your truth, your wisdom. So everyone who is needing your medicine can find you. And then no longer will they need that other person because you're standing there. But if you're not standing there, guess what? They'll eat sand. They'll go to that guy because they don't know the difference between sand and water. And that's the difference between you standing in your light, sharing your gifts, getting through your void, because you'll be challenged. If you have a huge void you're in right now, it's because you have huge gifts and a huge movement that you are gridded for. And spirit is giving you this because it wants to make sure, like, you have a huge thing that you're supposed to give on this planet. We want to make sure you have the wherewithal and the grit to bring this into fruition, or will you give up on the first challenge? Because we're going to give you this. So when I see women in my community that are in huge challenges, I'm like, you got a big mission. It's like, thank you for the challenge. I just see it as a challenge. And so you get through it, and I got through it, and I've gotten stronger and more codes coming in. And what I see is the blessing of it. I had to face all of it because I was a little afraid of my own shadow, and I even resented my path a little bit. Oh, so much work. I used to make this much money, and now it's like different, and I'm working harder, and I kind of was annoyed. And because I came from making seven figures, and I'm like, you don't just always make seven figures in 4 seconds. It's a whole new industry. You go from being a butterfly to a caterpillar in a new industry. And I'm like, I just want to be the butterfly. But it's a whole new set of nervous system resonance and different practices you need to learn in a new industry or a new venture or getting through your void. And what I can only share with you is get your why, light that fire, and get to the other side because you have such a gift waiting for you. If they had said the joy I'm going to feel in my body, I would never would have believed it because when you're in the void, you really can't hear anything. So, but just know that literally I was writing my will, getting my will. I wrote my will, but I got it in order, made sure that it was a new lawyer. So make sure he has all the things I need. And the radiance and joy and the new codes that I have brought in since that, it, it's like out of a movie. I can't tell you. And how I feel in this moment and how I felt right before I came on here. I'm dancing and, I'm really into the Black Eyed Peas. It's old, but I think we were dancing this weekend to it and I just love it. It just lights me up. And I get into the state of being before I do anything. I get into that state and then I'm bringing that state of being, that high frequency, and I'm operating from there, from everything I do. And your state, your physiology is how you get through and how you radiate and how you make sure that you're in that frequency to radiate your truth so people can really feel you. Because it's all magnetic. It's not what you say, it's who you are and the frequency you emit. So you get through the void through your why, you get to the other side, and you come in with a gravity that you have gone through the underworld and nothing can stop you. When you have faced what you have to face in the void, you're stronger.
Yes. Absolutely. You know what? I'm so glad that you shared all of that because as you were sharing that, I would and you were moving through the why and being in the light and the frequency and not giving up and you even talked about finding community. I was sitting here thinking, in a nutshell, just completely described what you described earlier about the framework, the four things, the four components of the framework of being in that high vibe light container, really reaching out and finding those people that maybe have experienced it, have gone through it before that can help guide you, that mentor. um, you know, I also and this is me, and please correct me if you think differently, but I believe that each one of us really does contain our own sacred site. Like we are all within that sacred divine energy. And then you talked about community. So I just wanted to bring it all back around for all of our listeners, those that are on today and those that will be listening later, like you literally have just proven the framework of what to use when you are in that in between stage. And I just wanted to say that it's beautiful. And I'm glad that you made it through because look at what you're doing now, right? Such profound work as we move into this new era, this new earth, whatever you want to call it. And and you're right, we need, we need role models. We need mentors to show the way. So beautiful. I just wanted to share that. I
Well,
don't really have a question in there, but I just wanted to acknowledge that what you shared was
mhm.
absolutely inspiring. So thank you.
Aw, and does any of the sisters that are here have a question or anything that's on your heart? Hmm.
I I feel like they're basking in the energy of what you shared. Yeah. Amanda just she's like, yes.
I feel, yeah, I know. I feel like we're all a light for each other, like, and the women are together in union with the masculine, but the woman is always the anointer of the masculine. So the woman is truly the leader. And yeah, you're in union. It's not about above, because we've done that before, and the men got a little angry for 4,000 years. That was the Aries and the Pisces ages that we just went through. So it's like about that union, and that union is also within you, your masculine and your feminine sides, your left and right side, and bringing that where there's no sides anymore, where it's just union. And that is this new era. It's a new 100,000 years. And the grids didn't really land when we came back from Bali. I thought, like, oh, we're a new era. And then I kept hearing, I'm like, oh, it just started. And I kept feeling this resistance in my community. And even in the women that got back from Bali, they're like, I'm integrating. I'm like, it's been 3 weeks. I'm like, okay, I know we did really deep work, and they transcended so much. It was so amazing, and purged and transcended and then electrified and went higher. And then I tuned in. I'm like, the grids haven't landed. They switched, but there was, there's resistance in the field. There's humanity. It's like it just takes time to fully get the new grids aligned. And over last weekend, they finally gridded, and I can feel this moving forward now. And we in the 1010 portal, which is New Beginnings. That was just a few days ago, and we're going into, we're in a 9 year, but and as we move into going towards 1111, but it took them about 30 days to anchor, and for a new 100,000 years. I mean, to be alive right now, like,
So exciting.
I know. And people say that, and it's like, but it's so hard, It's like, get through your void, get through the hard, and go and get into the party. Because the party is radiant, and it's celebrating you. And it's like, get through your stuff. You have to heal it. You have to release it. You have to let it go. It can't move forward. It's the old paradigm. It's the old framework. It's the old trauma. I have this. I can't do it. I need, I can't have loud noise. I can't, it's like, get through it so that you can step into your leadership. Because even if you're not out there leading in a spiritual path, you're leading in your home, in your family, with your children, and you're creating the future leaders. And so this is this next level of you coming into your own union, which is this age, because we're in a galaxy, this universe we're in, with our galaxy, with Earth and Jupiter and Pluto and Mars and all that. We're in a universe of union. We're either moving towards union or away. So we chose it away for 100,000 years. How was that? Don't know that I want to do that again. And then now we're moving into union. So it's not all like landed, but it's like, this is the leadership. This is the new solar feminine. This is this radiant, lit up, in her body, in her light, but with a framework. It's not only feminine. You need that masculine framework so you can dance and you can flow. And that structure, and I love business, and that's what we do in like Priestess Temple, with your branding, your messaging, your framework, and also your framework of your energetic, your outer framework of your sacred business, and then you're also your inner framework, your pathway for the outside, and your pathway, your energetic light codes for your radiance. There is that framework to support solar feminine.
I love it. Yes. I'm telling you, this episode is definitely a She Rises episode. Yes,
We need to just dance.
love it. And you're like I agree with you because I've experienced it myself going through I'm like I call it going through the thick of it because it feels so dense. But I do believe that all of us have the ability to be light workers, especially the moment that we wake up. And choosing that path is not an easy path to choose by any means. You talked about it. You went, from fashion designer to making seven figures to having to choosing this path and start, and I don't want to say starting all over again. I just feel like it's a new path that you're on, right? You're just doing a transition, but it isn't easy. But and I'm speaking in my experience, when I've moved through that thick of wanting to give up sometimes, of just being like, I'm done. I just want to be the ordinary person that I think that I am, but I deep down inside know that I am not. But when you reach the other side of it too, there is such this sense of calm, like you were talking about. But I feel what's most important in conjunction with the calm is the trust. You develop this trust because, you know, source is carrying you. And it's so parallel to like what they talk about with the Bible, the poem, The Footprints, where it talks about the one set of footprint. You go from two to one set of footprints, but source is carrying you through that. And, and I believe that you're absolutely right. The harder it is for you, the bigger the gift that you have. What a beautiful calling to have, right? And I'm saying this because I do know that there are a lot of people that are in that who are in that energy that's swimming through that real dense energy.
Mhm.
Is I'm gonna I'm just gonna say what you said. Don't give up, because that when you reach the other side, I do think the most beautiful thing is that trust, because you have never trusted like you ever have until you've made it through that.
Yeah.
And it brings you it like I mean, you want to talk about going from lead to gold. There it is, right?
Yeah, it's so true because we're going from carbon to crystalline to golden. And so as you go through that, you'll like what you eat will change, who you hang out with will change. As you move higher and when you break through a glass ceiling, you're at a floor of a new dimensional consciousness. None of that hit me last year. It ever really hit me. It because I had moved into this and those were all still down here and I couldn't go higher. And so you'll face new things and things that are really uncomfortable, but transformation is uncomfortable. It is a new way of being, even if it's all joy and light and you're used to a little more lead and you're moving into higher and it's a new emotional home. Your emotional home, think of what's kept you and cost you by sticking in this old emotional home, old relationships, old job, old way of being, old capping how much you can make. And what about creating a new emotional home and dropping that way of being and stepping into something new? It's a little uncomfortable, that jump. But as you get the neural pathways and you get some rituals and you get some things in your body deeply embodied, it becomes your new normal. And you like
Yeah.
can't even imagine the you that was that other. And but it takes you getting through your why. It's your why, it's your fire, it's your family. Yeshua came in when I was healing at my story. I had seen every healer, every hypnotherapist, I mean, I was like the needy client. Like, do you have a session tomorrow? And what about the next day? Because I literally couldn't fight all the stuff off. And it was just, I've never been like that. I've never even hired people. I do it myself. And I'd feel good for 2 minutes, after the session. And then I would go right back. It was nothing lasted. Nothing was a healing. And so, I remember just giving it up to Yeshua. My mom had this prayer my mom's a Catholic and I was raised Catholic. I don't go anymore. I don't believe in the whole you're a sinner thing and Catholic Church. I don't, that's all another conversation. But she gave me this prayer from a beautiful man that's going to be a saint. And it was, oh, Jesus, I surrender myself to you. Take care of everything. And you literally say it 10 times. And then there's 10 things on different days of how you try to always manhandle your life. And that's what the other side, the dark side, wants to keep you away from. And so I did. I gave it up. I just kept praying. I've done everything. And it literally, like a miracle, started lifting. I just felt this gray energy just lifting. And then it's the self-belief and claiming my power And that kept the fire going, and I literally have felt stronger every month, but I really gave it up to Yeshua. Literally, it was a miracle. And it's because I surrendered it. I'd done everything. I'd done all the action, the old paradigm steps. I'll get a healer, go to a session. And it was literally when I surrendered.
Mhm.
And that was what was my breakthrough. And that was my grace. And I just, Yeshua, like just the love I have for what he has done for this world and for me. And in that moment, um, is why I'm here, is because of surrendering and giving
Yeah.
up to God, to Yeshua. So that's
Yes.
that's my story.
I'm going to tell you, it's a very beautiful and inspiring story, especially I mean, that surrendering piece can be really difficult, but I'm like, I always tell people, I'm like, but that's the key. That's the key in the lock that unlocks everything, right? Is when you fully just surrender, and it's not surrender and giving up. It's saying, I know that there is something here for me, and I am done pushing and resisting. I'm going, like, here I am, like, a long time, I'm gonna tell you, a long time ago I used to teach little kids, believe it or not. But I always loved the saying that they said that they were like they were mold, like you can mold, like they were little molds of clay.
Mm,
And I don't think it was until years later that, like, for me, that saying came together, and I was like, no, they're just the epitome of what surrendering is, of just showing us that there's that that there is a better way, that we do have the power to mold and craft and create ourselves into the most magical things in
mm.
the world. So every time I see a child, I'm like, oh, there's my slab of clay I'm gonna play with. But no, I'm kidding. But um, but
Mm,
it really is beautiful. And thank you for sharing your story, because a lot of people like to hold back their stories, but I think the things that make us is what also helps other people come into community and not feel alone. So thank you for sharing that
mm,
with all the people on our call today, in our audience is very beautiful.
mm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna go back to our beautiful audience members. Do any of you ladies have anything that you want to share? A question, a comment, anything? You can come off mute, or you could put it in the chat. I'll be happy to share it in the chat. And by the way, right before Rochelle had to leave, she did say thank you for sharing your knowing.
Mm,
So, oh,
thank you,
I'm
Rachel.
all see. Let's see what the works we're doing. But I did, Amanda, you came off mute. Did you have a question or a comment?
More of a comment, a little bit of a share. That weaves off what you were saying about the footprints and what you were saying about the surrender. Um, on Friday I broke my left ankle and tore ligaments in my right foot. So I'm now kind of wandering around on crutches and having to wear a big bloody boot. And what I'm really noticing in all of this is all of my needs are being met. And like about 6 weeks ago, my chimney flue split. So I'm sitting here now, the stove is out in the middle of the room. I've no money to do any of it. And yet, the other day, the insurance have confirmed that they're actually going to cover it. Not only are they going to cover it, but they're actually going to replace the stove as well. I mean, this is like the power of that surrender. Do you know, when we can really get to that point of, okay, this is happening for me. I don't know why yet. I don't need to see why, but I'm heading for 52 now. I've experienced this often enough in life to recognize that there's been so many times I truly believed I couldn't get through.
Mhm.
But
Mm,
yet here I sit. I
Yeah.
always do. The solutions always, always come. And I can already feel my healing. Like it's
Yeah.
going so fast. And people are so quick to tell me how long I'm going to be out of action. And I'm like, but watch me. I take pride in generally I'll be healed in half the time. Um, so just everything you were speaking about today,
mm,
and reminded me the power of this surrender, and again, just trusting. Don't need to see the solution in the now moment to know. They are coming. And thank you for being able to just drop in and sit in this space.
Yes, thank you for being
I'm,
here.
as I said, amplifying the energy. My healing has now just leapfrogged again, just by you providing this container. So thank you both.
Oh, thank you so much for showing for showing up. Like that's, a lot of times that's just half the battle is to show up, right? And you did it. And oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing your story. And I do want to point out something that you said that I think is the part of the golden nugget for that is this is happening for me, not to me. And I feel like that's the entire nugget right there. That shift of just knowing that this is happening for me. And now look at for you, your chimney's getting fixed. For you, your healing is accelerating. For you, you're sitting here with this just this beautiful radiant smile of just trusting and knowing. And I think that is incredible. So thank you for sharing your story. Sorry, Jennifer, did you have anything to comment? I feel like I just kind of hijacked that a little bit,
No,
but it was just
I'm
what
just
she'd
thank you.
said.
It was beautiful. I just sending light to your beautiful manifestation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you so much, Amanda, for sharing that. Thank you. And so beautiful. Again, another story, right? That's so inspiring. I'm very inspired today with both of you ladies. Thank you so much. Okay, so Jennifer, you all of our guest speakers donate, they give a gift for a donation. That donation, 100% of the proceeds all go to the She Rises Foundation, which is exactly the stuff that you were talking about today, really helping women step into their power, into their leadership. And leadership in my mind can be anything, whether it's being the CEO of a big company, running your own business, or being the best mom that you can be. We all have that leadership quality, and that's really what this nonprofit organization highlights. So, all of the proceeds go to scholarships, funding, if they need help with education, coaching, mentoring, startup. This is what this program is all about. So you have graciously provided a gift for a donation, and your gift is your Golden Destiny 9D codes activation. Would you like to explain that some more so people understand what they get when they generously give their donation?
So beautiful. I'm so honored to be a part of all that you shared. What great work in the world. Your 9D Golden Destiny Codes activation is right now, we're moving from 3D through 4D into 5D, and this is then taking you into 9D because 60, 90, 12D are already here. And so it's taking you into your destiny. So we talked about the A, you're here and you want to go to B. So your B is a higher quantum leap. It's a higher next jump in your life. And this is then the code activation to take you into that higher golden destiny that is this new solar era. So it's this new golden frequency because we're moving from carbon beings to crystalline. Crystalline's not the end. Golden is the direction where you become the golden light body, which I don't know if we'll do in this lifetime, but this is the frequency, then we're moving into that. And so this is your golden destiny, your highest timeline, and activating your codes, which are we talked about, are all your millions of lifetimes, your higher frequency wisdoms, ideas, and abilities and gifts that are encoded that come out when you meet higher frequency and light. Your light codes turn on and become in your life and a reality. So this is when you're in light code activations, you're going to be stepping into this new higher destiny and where your soul is leading you.
Love it. Beautiful. So that is the amazing gift that is up for donation. I just want to add when you donate, it is going to process. You will get two emails. I just kind of want to reiterate this because I've had a lot of questions. You'll get two emails, one for your taxes, and then the other one that will come will be the email that will provide the link to that. If it doesn't arrive in your main mailbox, please check your spam because sometimes that does happen. But we want to make sure that you get it. If you do donate and you don't receive it, please reach out to me. I will make sure to do everything that to make sure that you get your gift. And then Jennifer, you have another thing. This is, by the way, all of this will be in her speaker center, even what she's going to talk about right now. So go ahead and share the other thing
I'm
that you have.
so excited. Well, I'm so lit up that just came in from all that I have walked through and what's been shown to me is we're going to be stepping into this is about stepping into this new solar framework, this new solar era. It's no longer, you've outgrown the old paradigms. You have huge downloads, huge gifts, and it doesn't fit. We were talking about that in the beginning when I was sharing. So it's stepping into this and that solar mastery code activation framework and for the new solar era, and this is the only space you can get it, and it's called Illuminated, and it's Activate Your Light, a 3-day embodied mini course experience, 3 activations each day. It will be a different activation and one turned on ecstatic frequency. The new oneness is source energy, and it's October 23rd through 25th. And ignite your magnetic radiance, or channel your creative fire, and birth your empire. These are for women who are birthing empires, movements, revolutions. This is who you are. And now you have a space where you can activate that light. It's not about just session work and being capped and being limited and like, I have so much to give. I'm bursting at the seams. This gives you that new framework so you can step into that next level. And this is for the visionary woman, light leader, spiritual entrepreneur who's ready to be turned on and live her highest destiny. And I put the link in there, and we double the price every 72 hours. It's $11 right now for 3 days. And the women coming in are just, it's going to be lit up. And so every 72 hours, it doubles. So right now it's at 11. So we have the link in there. And so I invite you to step in and step into who you truly are. And we just launched it today. So it's just a miracle that I'm here. We just launched it to our community and online today. And this is the new future. This is the new paradigm, and this is the framework to take you where you want to go. The old paradigm, the old frameworks, the old systems, they don't work. And if you stay there, you're going to be left behind. So if you want to be left behind, stay with what you're doing. If you don't want to be left behind, it's not your devotion, it's not your mission, it's your frequency. And so if you don't want to be left behind, you want to be in the new framework. And then your soul codes turn on, you align with source, you align with your truth, and you take off. Your radiance is your strategy.
Love it. Yes, yes. Oh, that's amazing. I love it.
Joyful.
Yeah. So again, all of this is in Jennifer's Speaker Center. You will find it when you go onto the website. You will find her. It is all in there for you to access. Please, please visit it. Check her out. Uh, Jennifer, I had so much fun today.
I did too. It was so much fun. I'm so excited that I feel like we've known each other for lifetimes.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I was thinking that same thing. I'm like, oh, this feels like such a magical sisterhood.
Yes, I know. I feel like too, like, can we just stay here all day?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I wish I could. I would. But here's the good news is you're going to be back in February.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
In February.
Yes. So she will be back in February joining us again. I
A
cannot wait.
new year. Whoa.
Oh, yes. Can't
Six.
wait to see what that. But a huge thank you to you, Jennifer. I really enjoyed our time today. And you too, Amanda, for sharing your story with us. Thank you so much. Uh, I really do love these because we're just getting the information and the truth and all these amazing messages out there, and we really need it right now so much. I'm like, we
Mm,
need people. We wake up. Come on, we want to bring all of you into this new beautiful vibration and frequency.
mm.
So a huge thank you to you. I will see you again in February. I
Thank you,
cannot
Kelly.
wait.
I'm so honored. Thank you so much. And thank you,
Yes,
Amanda,
you.
and all the sisters who are here live and in replay. Thank you so much. And I just am so
Yes.
excited. Connect with me, send me a DM. Like, I want to get to know you. Like, ask me a question. Like, I love connecting. Like, I'm a double Libra, so I love connection. Sag
Uh,
rising, a lot of fire, but Libra is a big part of my life. So I just had my
oh,
birthday. So
I love it. Yeah. connect with her. Like I said, all of that is in her speaker center. Jennifer, thank you so much. Thank you, Amanda, and all the others that were on earlier, and to everyone that will be catching the replay. All of this could not be made possible without all of you. So my heart is like I have so much gratitude every time that we get to do this. So I love all of you so much.
Oh, love
So
you.
so much love to all of you, and we will be back again on Friday with another beautiful, lovely speaker, a guest speaker. So please join us there. It will be at the same time, 12 p.m. I'm on MST Phoenix time. Make sure you put that in your time zone converter because Arizona's a little crazy. But I look forward to seeing all of you again. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, everyone. And until Friday, we'll see you then.
Mm.